In fact, let's look at our rankings, because as you can see here, you can see, who produces most of what. And we are number 2 in wool. That is surprising. And coal, Austria is even higher than Prussia. That makes me happy. And then iron, we are number 2. And you can see usually the uncivs are pretty high up just because of population. Like for example, look at this. The green obviously means they're producing more of it. China's producing a large amount. Or iron. Lots of people producing iron. Look at this, 1.6 million people producing iron in one province. That's more than all Bohemia. However, uncivs get really bad bonuses, or basically no bonuses at all, and we get lots of bonuses. So we're a lot higher than. See, look. Because we have water wheel power and practical steam engines, so we have higher raw goods output, or RGO as the game calls it. Okay, there we go. We have a fertilizer factory in Bohemia. Not what we really needed it, but you take what you can get. Okay. Go over there. As we can see here, not too much gold being produced, but enough. 39, 36.9, it's a nice bonus. Plus, we can build this naval base right here, and that will allow us, well, first of all, allow ships not sink while we're over there. But just in general, it'll allow us to actually develop Asia and allow Austria to rise once again. Well, historically Austria sucked, but it's not like we can really do better. Well, we will do better, but okay, Baden. Okay, I'm banning you. There we go. Now Prussia cannot hurt us. Well, they will hurt us in other ways, but this way they will have to butt out for once. And Venezuela, ooh, maybe we should actually put something in that. Or we can just invest in them. Cause why not? I'll have them make some raw materials for us. Fabric. Because of course, if you make them make raw materials, they'll be cheaper for you when you take them. Which of course you will because they're under your sphere of influence. And I actually like the mechanics of that because basically what it does, well, we'll look at sphere of influence right here. See how, for example, Britain has a lot of India in its sphere of influence? They're actually satellites of it as well. See? In sphere of satellite, etc., etc. Now what that'll do, basically, they will always trade with the motherland first. The motherland basically being, who has the sphere of influence. And it will cause them to bring all of the goods from that nation into it, and they will always have first pick on it. Even above the nation itself, they will always have first pick. And they will be the ones to take their manufactured goods. So having a big sphere of influence is always a good thing. Sphere of influence is something you definitely want to work on. But of course you can only do it as a great power, which only 8 nations are, the top 8. So we have Mexico, Ottoman Empire, Austria, Russian Empire, Prussia, USA, France, United Kingdom. The thing I'm worried about is that Mexico usually only becomes it for a very short amount of time because of the prestige they get from colonizing Colorado and Oklahoma. But soon after, the U.S. goes after them, or even just general decay. They don't really have much to back them up. I mean, look at these population numbers. They only have 2 million people. Ottoman Empire has 5. We have 10. Russian Empire has 16. Even Prussia has twice their numbers. And same with the U.S. France, 8 million. And of course, the big one, United Kingdom, 37 million. Which a lot of them come from things like Bengal. Which will, of course, it'll basically, United Kingdom for almost all the game will be number 1 in everything. Right now, they're having problems with military simply because the uncivs have more than them. But they'll go up. Britain will dominate the game, pretty much any game. And if you ever want to have just a simple, easy game, yeah, he's just being a troll. But that's what he does. I mean, hell, he basically, while my previous video was uploading, he just suddenly said first. I do not like firsters. Okay, so Saxony, yeah. Why are they going after these random nations? I don't get it. And Venezuela, yeah, you're not going after it anymore. Good. Württemberg. Okay, Prussia's going after that now. Just great. Like I said, I hate Prussia, and they were a real pain in the ass in this recording. My previous recording, they got scrapped. I really hate YouTube. To even upload that video, I had to send it to a cell phone, which I don't have, so I had to use ties. That guy you just saw there. And it didn't even tell me that I needed that until I'd already tried uploading it. It just said that no videos had been uploaded. So I had to actually go in and find out, oh hey, that waiting I did for the past hour, or sorry, day, oh, that never happened. But I still like the idea of it, just sometimes not the execution, that's all. I just wanted to show you this. Pretty soon all of South America will be in that lovely shade of white. But for now, we had to make do with a large part of Central Europe. And now what I occasionally like actually to do, you kind of can consider it cheating, but what I often do in my other games is to break up Austria, because it offers a lot of interesting possibilities. You know, what if Hungary were an independent power, or what if Russia could come in and take East Galicia? What if there was just random breakup of Austria? What that usually does is make Italy form a lot sooner, and same with Germany. And usually Russia can come in and break that and take some territories, but other than that. And here we go, we get some more unions, because we want to stem that tide of emigration. So we go see here, migrations, ooh. It's like no one else is migrating but us. I'm sure the US loves that. And then we're going to increase the militancy even more. Don't you love the logic of this game? Actually, I do, but you know, it makes sense within a certain dynamic. But I mean, historically, obviously, they didn't, try to piss out the populace. But the idea of it is that they'll give up some of their power to avoid losing all of it. So I make the population pressure them to give up some of their power. In this case, reforms. Even though there's no viable reason you wouldn't want healthcare in this game, because all it does is increase your bureaucracy a little bit, and it increases your population size. So it's really, really useful. So if you can get that before anyone else, you are in a really good shape for the future, because obviously population growth is exponential. The more population you have, the better you can do stuff. For example, you have more people for your factories, so your industrial score goes up. You have more people for your military, so your military score goes up. And you can colonize more places. For example, in my Japan game that I did a while back, I can actually show you the file for that later. Basically, I had trinket healthcare after I westernized in the 1860s, and I had 10 million Japanese by the 1880s. Okay, so Peru is about to go, and of course, Bavaria, Saxony, and here we go. They've already started going after Saxony again. Not that I can really blame them. After all, that's what I do. Or, just take Austria out, but... Okay, there we go. We got another one. So, let's see. Austria and West Galicia. Let's see. Ooh. How about Lombardia? Transdebnia. We'll put them in there for now. I'll just wait to trade with that and just switch it off if we have problems with that. And I think I'm going to increase my dip-like influence because I hate Prussia. Well, I love them when I'm playing them because it feels really, really satisfying to just form Germany with Austria in it and just dominate everything. Because once you are Germany, and especially if you include Austria in it, you will basically just rule the world. No one can stop you, not even Britain. Because as we can see, okay, North German Federation, when this is all here, will probably be about 5 or 6 million. And Bavaria itself is a million, so 1.5 million here, plus 10 million here, so that's like 20 million. And then if you add some healthcare, you're thinking maybe 30 million people by the 1880s. And that's a lot of people, and those pretty much all states. So huge industry, huge military. Yeah, not someone you want to mess with. But it doesn't always happen, and especially doesn't happen with the AI in charge. The AI of this game, it's an okay AI in most situations, but sometimes it isn't really that useful. Okay, so there we go. Nothing down to cordial, and keep going, and here we go. There, now we can go after the French. Once they gain a little bit more. I'll have to remember to actually look at that next time. And here we go. Just going to have a general expansion of factories. What I'll do sometimes is I'll just hike up the tariffs and hike up all the taxes and just go on a massive spending spree and expansion. And then go back. Now what I'm thinking of doing, once I get up to a higher military rate, is releasing Trieste, and then going after Prussia and taking a couple states off them. Because what you can do is you go to the Release Nations tab, and you can release any of these nations as satellites. Each one that you release will give you -5 infamy, which is really useful. So for example, I release Trieste, I get -5 infamy for releasing of one province. I'll do that later, of course, but it's really, really, really useful. Or one trick you can actually do as Prussia is, once you become North German Federation, all these get assimilated into you, and then if you release them and then put them back into your sphere, eventually they'll petition to rejoin you. Or if not, they'll join you when you form Germany. So you can burn up a lot of infamy and go on a really big, spending spree if you want. And basically just take over the world with almost no penalty. Of course, if I might as well explain this to you, infamy is just it's the cost you get for attaining war goals and taking them from other people, or just from declaring them. It's basically just what the international community thinks of you, and it's displayed up here. And if you go above 25, then they all get a free, declaration of war on you. They can just what's called containing, which is just cutting down to size, which is they get 25% of all your income, and they also get also you can only build a certain amount of military units, and they get a lot of prestige, and you lose a lot of prestige. So see what I mean when I say I hated Prussia? They will make you hate playing as Austria, even though you love playing as Austria. Especially when you're trying to form Germany, because they'll be your mortal enemy time and time again. Okay. I'm just going to ask him what's my time, because I want to keep this in about an hour or so, 2 parts. Because I don't like you guys sit through just a boring, monologue. I realize this part may be a bit boring, but that's only because it's usually the lull in the game between the major war fighting in the 1830s, and this is mostly just the infamy burning part. And then the 1870s will be a big expansion, both in the colonies and just in general. Because honestly, I'm not a big warmonger. I mean, I'm okay at it, but I'm not really great at war. But I will go to war when I have to. But as you can see, I can't really afford to be a big warmonger either. Right now, only 10th. And as you can see, my allies, well, I have one ally. And I'm not even sure whether they... Wait, France isn't my ally anymore. Okay, never mind, I had no allies. At least no major ones. Okay, sorry, I had the USA. Yeah, because they're totally gonna help me. They haven't even taken their cores yet. That's my girlfriend. It's supposed to be an hour long each episode, and I just cut it in half. Ty says I have 17 minutes left, so I'm probably gonna end a little bit early, just to allow them to be 25 minutes each. And here we go, market structure, which of course will boost our income and give us some useful inventions plus more to like influence. So now I'm gonna go after positivism, which is really nice because what that'll do, it increases your education efficiency, which means that basically makes your literacy go up, and it increases colonial migration, so they'll be more likely to go to the colonies. And as you can see right here, we can see how many people go to the colonies, and no one goes to the colonies. That sucks. See what I meant when I said I hate Prussia? I had prior knowledge of what they were doing, and they still did that. Grr! I hate you, Prussia, so much. At least I'll have a chance to work on the rest of my sphere. This is why the hegemony role is really good, because it will basically not necessarily kick them out of great power status, obviously, but it will cause their sphere of influence to crumble and allow us to take control of them and beat Prussia into a pulp. Usually, Prussia uses it against Austria to get them out, to get Saxony and the South German states out of their control, but I'm going to use it against them. This might be a good idea. This is what is called a it's basically an event Causi Belli, where you get a free Causi Belli on someone for a certain war goal. In this case, we get a place in the sun Causi Belli against Denmark for a colony, the only colony they have right now of Danish Ghana. Unfortunately, they are in the sphere of the UK, and they are allied with Russia, the UK, and the Netherlands, so I'm not going to go after them. I'm not suicidal, and I'm saving my military strength for Prussia. Prussia. I might do a Prussia LP at some point, because, it's actually pretty fun. It makes you, again, feel like you're just God when you get up to becoming Germany, or even just the North German Federation. And it actually makes you really, really like Victoria 2. Actually, that's the first one they played. Because back when they released the demo for this, I played as Japan and Prussia, because that's the only ones they had. Because they wanted to show off the new UNCIV system, and they also wanted to show, how you can still do everything you did on the old Victoria 2, but even better. And just some other general features like their forum system and other things for civilized countries. Okay, so I think I'm going to end it off here. Again, I'm sorry that this was a dull episode. This is just a kind of a dull part of the game, but it will get better. And if you're having doubts about Victoria 2, do not. It is an amazing game. I've definitely logged hundreds of hours on this. So as a little bonus, I'm going to show you guys a few extra things. First, I'm going to give you a sneak peek into a future LP. Not necessarily the next one, but at some point, I'll be playing as Spain. This is what I was originally going to do, but you guys really like the idea of Austria. Now, Spain is kind of a finicky start, so I had to fool around just a little bit to get just right. But I managed to get a Portuguese colony, get them into my sphere, and also stabilize Spain and get it completely. Because there's some colonies up in here that only require 25 life rating, so that's really nice. And we also have the Philippines right here, which where I start with. Now this is the Japan game I wanted to show you. I'll actually start this one just to show you the interior. But look at this. 26 million people. And right now I'm at war with Russia. I took a state right here just to see this, along with I also took a couple of colonies from the Netherlands. I took a couple of small British colonies that I got Causi Belli just got them to take, simply because I just basically wanted it for the lols. But as you can see, I colonized a large portion of Africa. That's because I took part of Portugal's colony right here, so complying to with Spain, took Mombasa right here, and I could colonize large portions of it, along with pretty much every single Asian possible colonizing. And you can see Japanese East Indies, also Siam, Dainam, and I'll show you just a few statistics. Yeah, I know. Basically, Russia's trying to liberate a little part of their colony. As we can see, 45% of our 26 million colony people. 12 million people. Osaka itself, just the one region, 2.81 million people. I'm the second largest in industry, sixth largest in military power. That's just because I don't like the military that much. And first in prestige. I rule over a vast domain. I never even had to take China. I never, ever attacked China. I stayed well away from it. And we look at here, I've turned 2 of these into states, and the rest are all colonies. And they're all very, very profitable colonies. As you can see, I got all the way up to acceptable healthcare. That means that I basically get triple the base amount of healthcare, because look at this. I have the normal, and then from tech usually is 0.06, but there's some techs at the end of this game that'll boost that, and then acceptable healthcare, which is 0.10. So we have massive population growth and massive factories. See, this is the kind of thing that you can actually do if you have large populations, which Japan does. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys that. Well, I don't really need to save. I don't know why I did that. And one more thing, I'll show you a Germany game I played. And I'll show you just how powerful Germany can be as well. Because again, Germany, if you can get fully formed, like I'm planning to do with Austria, can be just a huge powerhouse. You can take anything you want. You can beat down anyone you want. Okay, let's see. As you can tell, I play a lot of it. There's also a Scandinavia game I was doing. Weird Canada game I kind of played for a while, because I wanted to make a communist Canada that was actually really powerful. And here we go, Germany. I released some parts of Austria just so I could force them into joining me, and I just left the remaining parts, you know, the Hungary parts. And I have German Africa, every single part of Africa. I took Alsace-Lorraine and one colony from France, so I have all of Africa, North Africa, except for little teeny parts. And I let Britain have a couple of colonies here and there, just out of basically pity. And I have Portugal's colony right here, and everything else is just me. Look at this, 50 million people. 50 million people. Let's take a look at that for a second. Number 1 industry, 4,000 industry score. Look at these, that's huge. 3 million people in Bohemia, 2 million in Saxony, 1.5 million in Schlesien, and basically almost no emigration because I have colonies. So we can see here, external emigration is somewhat sizable. It hasn't been because I haven't done the game, but look at these numbers: basically 30 North German plus 18 South German, so half for 50 million people empire. Look at this, 26 million people. That is the power of Germany. As you can see, this is what the game might look like later. So Russia's freed some parts. This actually just because I wanted to see what would happen. I took control of England while in the war with France, because France for some reason likes taking this part. So I decided I'll let them have it just because I want to see that. And Italy, of course, tends to form and wants their cores back, but they're way too scared to take them back from me or any of my spherelings. So that's never going to happen. Spain is intact for the most part. In fact, they've taken actually a bit of Portugal. And I have the canal, the Suez Canal right here, along with the Panama Canal and Gran Colombia, which is it's basically kind of like a amalgamation of all three of these things. Occasionally rebels will found it, occasionally one of them will found it itself, but that's really rare. And it's supposed to be all these, but usually it doesn't end up being like that. And see, like I said, USA has a cores that they'll usually take from that. And here we go. Oh, and also this is just German Asia. I took a lot of them because basically at this point you can afford to ignore infamy, but I decided just go along with keeping with infamy anyway. But I just wanted to show you guys that I just have a natural impulse to save. Okay, this has been the Thoktar, and this has been Let's Play Victoria 2, A House Divide, Austria, and